What's going on, y'all? My name is David. This is RV Family.Life. And this is a review of the Willis RV Resort. This is a place that we found from our friends. They recommended it as a good potential spot to be spending your 1 week out of the Thousand Trails Lake Conroe. Very close, very affordable prices. Relatively new, things in good condition. Bathhouse for the price, amazing. But I got a couple issues with this place. So let's start off with number one. Why would we do 90-degree back-in turns on a brand new place? This is in Florida. This is at 1960. With the exception of a few, right up in the front over there, almost all of these are at a 90-degree back-in. They're cement. That is nice. The curb, a little bit frustrating. Not sure how we got that manufactured that way. Cute little post things. They light up at night. They've got the number kind of carved in there. It makes a nice ambiance at night. Every last one of the sites at the water has, it's like a pressure regulator. I'm not entirely certain. If anybody knows better what's going on here, please let me know. That's where you hook your water up right there. Every one of these sites has one. Of course, you all have your sewer hookup a little bit tall. That's all right. 50 amp hookups. They are metered because you can spend $500 for the month and stay here, and then you can pay your electric bill. Oh, hello there. Let me just get away from that hornet or wasp or whatever that was. Hi, Daisy. Also, this park is built apparently on top of a spring, and there's literally moisture just kind of comes up right through the cracks. It's a little bit drier out here today, but you can see where it's moist. Overnight, this literally just makes a small creek of water just running out. The fence up there is actually 3 sites where there's too much water coming up. The ground is too soft. They have the slabs there, but the slab is literally sunk over 2 inches, and they realized that they could not put anybody there anymore. So they just put a fence around it. I'll do a full-on review. I'll cover everything. We'll cover the bathhouse. It's an interesting, fun little story with the bathhouse. I'll get to that when I get in there. Behind me, we've got a big fire pit with some firewood there. There's some courts of some kind, like pickleball, and 2 others, and then like a big barbecue gathering point. There's only 1 dumpster, which is a good way off back there. The dumpster situation's kind of disappointing. It's like either you got to take a pretty long walk or you got to start your car up to run your trash, which isn't, well, I'm sure you all know right now, oil prices are pretty high. The park manager, full-time RVer for over 20 years. He runs this place trying to accommodate other RVers. Since they are not really filled up right now, he said, by all means, go ahead and park right next there. I know for a fact we don't have anybody coming in next to you, so you can use that spot to park your truck. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And he also said if there's anything we can think of that's missing out here, let him know, and he'll work on getting it. Now, of course, I would prefer 45-degree back-in sites, but that's probably a multi-thousand to closer to $1 million to redo all these sites, so I would never propose that to him. Just kind of scratching my head as to when the people built this place, why did they do 90-degree back-ins? I think we've been doing RV sites at a slant for a couple of decades now. It literally was like the 1960s, 1970s. You go see old RV parks where they have a bunch of 90-degree back-ins. You can receive packages here for delivery over at the office. The office stays open until 9 o'clock at night. Inside the office, you do have a fitness center, a game room, library. Kaylin's already been over there, picked out some books. The office clubhouse, it is the old original farmhouse that's been repurposed. So it still has its full-on kitchen. I said, if you want to go in there and use the kitchen, by all means. Big old dining room table. They're going to have a Easter potluck for everybody that's here over there at the clubhouse on the day before Easter, actually. So I think one of my biggest concerns that I realized after being here for almost a week When you have a low barrier to entry, as in a cheap cost, that's when riffraff can come in. This is when this becomes kind of questionable. I asked Tanya, do I want to make a video supporting this park? I became a little concerned. I don't know if you can hear the road noise. It's not bad at the moment. That highway right back there. There's people that live in this community that just pride themselves on noisy trucks, and they will just rip roar down this road. That's probably why the majority of the people that stay here are back in the back of this campground, because it's ridiculously noisy in here. And then some of the people that I've met here, I've felt were a bit questionable. And that's when I realized the low barrier to entry. It's nice that it's affordable, but I'm just not sure that I necessarily care for the type of people that stay full-time in a cheap RV park. I know that sounds bad, that sounds questionable, because we're here. There are other great people here. Hey look, somebody's on the way out. But when it's more affordable, when it's cheaper, the people that have made poor life decisions can't afford more expensive things. So they have to go somewhere, and they're typically at the places that cost less. Just keep that in mind. You might find some of these people perfectly fine, but I just find some of these people, their actions around me and my family just seemed odd, just suspicious. I'm not going to delve too into it. I don't want to take any of these people and put them on spotlight as being bad people. I just want you to know that, well, how about we'll leave the one worst one at a noise ordinance. Don't go installing a train horn on your truck and then test it out in an RV park and campground. And then not just once, but do it twice, until the point where your little babies that are running around in diapers are bawling their eyes out. And me, like a row away, and my entire family is now on offensive, ready to attack because of how ridiculously loud it was. That's really when the turning point, when I'm like, what is with these people? This person probably thinks it's the coolest thing in the world, but it's like, man, if he blasts that train horn one more time, I'm gonna do something about it. I was upset. All right. I'm gonna take those negative feelings, I'm gonna lock them in a case, throw away the key. Now let's get back to the review on this park. That person that just left has a slide out. The one that you just saw leave behind me, their bedroom slide was out. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna show off the clubhouse here at the RV park. So this used to be a farmhouse for this property. So this is a full-on house, it's been converted to the clubhouse and the gym and the office. So pretty much this has always been a living room. Just totally makes sense. Your kitchen, they didn't need to tweak a whole lot there. Just, you know, kind of set up for use for multiple people. I haven't seen hours on it, it just said open. That's the office there, so when you come, you pay there. Got a full-on bathroom with a shower there. We've got, this is the gym. So obviously this used to be a bedroom. There's just a big half bath there. We've got a game room. They got one of those smaller arcade cabinets, puzzles, games. And then this is the library where they've got, this is two-sided. Kaylin's on the other side right now looking for books. And then it's interesting. It's just a toilet in a closet and a hand sink out there. So that is the office and clubhouse. So there's the clubhouse right there. And here's the pool and hot tub. Now our friends that referred us to come check this place out, they said the hot tub works really well, but you have to request the heater be turned on. Makes sense. You know, propane or whatever they use to heat it costs money. So I guess just let them know in advance, they'll turn it on for you for the night. And then you can have a nice hot tub. I'm loving the lights. Colored lights are great. 5 feet is the maximum depth there, right in the middle. So it's 3 feet on each side. Oh, and then you have 9 inches over there, little ones. Pretty cool. I'm gonna go back to Kaylin, who's inside. How about that sky? Beautiful late March sunset. Here is the laundry room, and this is a bathhouse with 4 completely separate bathrooms. I'm getting set up to use this one here. Good size space, decent size shower. There are no handhelds in this building. There's 4 in this one. The back bathhouse has got 6. Nice use of the hooks. This window is not blurred in any kind of way, and I'm 6'3". I find this a little suspicious. So if you're like 6'5", 6'6", Bill, my good friend Bill, would be able to look right in at you from the outside. I feel like they should add some kind of cloudy something or other to block the vision. The light is good, that's nice, but the vision. Sorry, you're right by the vent. You're probably hearing more vent than you are me. $2 to wash, $2 to dry, only takes quarters. Washers on the bottom. They do have the functional pull drawer thingies. And then I kind of like that rolling rack that you can hang your stuff on as you're washing and drying. It's pretty cool. I'll let you know afterwards how the hot water did. This feels kind of dark. Just the one light. I feel like it'd be a little nicer, like one light there and a couple of those little globe lights right over there. I don't know. The manager of the park told me that these would be the best bathhouse I had ever seen. So he put my mind on a high plateau, and I got here and I was like, it has a lot of nice attributes and aspects, but if we're gonna say it's the best, there's a few extra things we need to do to reach the best. But still, the fact that there's individual locking bathrooms is a really great thing. So don't get me wrong, that is tremendous. Shower was good, hot water was great. I never felt that I was gonna run out of hot water at all. And I wanna walk back my statement of what I've been saying. I've been hard on this bathroom just on the premise that it's the best bathhouse ever. Let's walk it back. Let's talk about the price of this place. $170 for a week, $500 for a month. In that price range, you are not gonna find places like this with 4 individual locking private bathrooms with hot water that doesn't appear to run out. This is top tier in that price range. That is amazing. I've stayed at places that were like $360 for the week that didn't even have it this good. So let's put fair as fair. The price range that this is at, the bathroom situation is tremendous. It's just, if you're gonna tell me it's the best I've ever seen, I'm gonna judge you a little bit, just a little bit. But I love it, I think it's great. Like I said, just the window situation, maybe get something foggy over the windows. From there, if we wanna go for the best ever, I'm a great guy for sources for tips on how to get it there. Daisy, you're all wet. Good girl, Daisy. Did you have a nice little swim? You gonna shake? You gonna do it? All right, so let's talk about this park and why it matters. Why is this park a good deal? Why is it here? And why is it a topic of discussion? When it comes to Thousand Trails Lake Conroe, which is the north side of Houston, very north side of Houston, you've got 2 different types of groups that are using that Thousand Trails Park in heavy usage. You've got people like us who are doing what I call the Thousand Trails Shuffle. You're either paying for a Thousand Trails membership or you've already paid one off, and staying at those parks for 2 or 3 weeks at a time is pretty much free, almost. Saves you a lot of money. Then there's another type of people or group of people that want to be living in this area, and they've kind of figured out a game or a system where they can stay at the Thousand Trails for 2 or 3 weeks, depending on which membership they have. And then they have to get out of there for 7 days, but they don't want to leave this area. There's a number of RV parks that have popped up. There's one right outside of the Thousand Trails, and the people that own it still go and stay in the Thousand Trails. That place is literally thrown together. I don't think they've even got a bathhouse, and they want $240 for the week. You can literally just, you're living right in the same area, you're just having to hop your home around every couple of weeks. The very basic Thousand Trails membership, I think, was about $600 for the year, maybe $700 now with inflation. And then it allows you to stay in there for 2 weeks at a time. So they're basically gaming the system, right? You paid, we'll say, $700 for the whole year, and then you can stay in Thousand Trails Lake Conroe for 2 weeks. Then you got to be out for 7 days. So then you go stay someplace like that for $240. Well, now you've got this place, which is on the other side of Willis, but that's really not that big of a deal as compared with somewhere else in the Houston area. And this place is charging $170. $170, and they have bathhouses like they have here, which, as I've pointed out already, at $170 for the week, that's probably the best bathhouse I've ever seen in that price range. And it's not just that bathhouse. There's 4 in there. And in the back of the park, there's another building that has 6. So a total of 10 individual bathrooms like that at $170 a week. So that is who this park is for. And then, like, in our current situation, the reason why we opted to come here, we were going to do our week out at the Thousand Trails Colorado River, 100-mile drive, round trip, 200 miles. With the increase in diesel prices, I was looking to be paying near $130 just for the move. Plus, if you watched our previous video, we had plans to go to the Pokemon Houston Regional Tournament, which, well, of course that's a cost, right? But there was the whole stress factor of all in one day. I needed to drive 100 miles, set up the RV, then drive another 100 miles back into Houston to go to the Airbnb. It's like, okay, I can take that cost of diesel that I was going to spend, add a few extra dollars, and come stay at this park here, the Willis RV Resort. And it removed a lot of stress off of me. And it's just for a few extra dollars then over what I would have paid in diesel. Now, our friends that told us about this place, they do Thousand Trail shuffles like us typically. They have been on the road for 10 years, and they've got a couple of their kids that wanted to sit still for a season to be able to be more involved in a few things. They're a little bit older in age. They wanted to just check some boxes, do some things as a part of their high school experience. So they kind of fell into that group of, we want to stay in this Conroe, Willis area. So then they would do the 3 weeks in Thousand Trails Lake Conroe, come to this park for their week out, and then that gave them that ability to stay in the area long enough for their kids to accomplish what they were hoping to accomplish, as well as become members in a church that allowed the kids and the adults all to flourish in that church and make new friends. So to anybody that's just passing through Texas and they're looking for a place and they just want to stop for a short while, or maybe you want to stay for a month, you have nothing to do with Thousand Trails. Let's say you're like me when I first started. This place is a good price. $500 for the month, decent bathhouses, nice pool and hot tub. You do have to pay extra for electric, but at $500 a month, it's a good price, especially when you get cement slab RV sites. If you want to just stay for a week, $170 is a very good price for just a week. And $45 for a night is also a good price. Like I said, I felt a little uneasy about a couple of people that are staying here. And this highway is a bit noisy. If you could get a site back in the back, which I think all you got to do is ask, I think they've got some openings back there, I think you would find a little bit more peace back there. That is my opinion about this place. The price is right, the location is good, the bathhouse is decent for that price is right, pool and hot tub are nice, staff are great, very easy to work with. You come try it out and just let me know in the comments what you think. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Remember that life happens, even some occasional noisy neighbors. In the RV life, you can always just hitch up and leave. And don't let that stop you. Stay fresh, cheese bags.